If you can't kill a boss, no reason why you can't look like one. Moogle putting the wow in transmogs. Kickstarting us off with the shoulders, which are from Mob Siege of Orgrimmar Heroic. Tears of the Veil, 19% shot to get ichor dripping shoulder pads. They don't look like ichor dripping shoulder pads, but I like the look of those. Definitely priestly. Hero's Robe of Faith is traditional priest, I think. Naxxramas is normal 10-man. Gluth drops the chest piece at about an 8% drop rate. Moving on to a Lady Nightborn. Derevka's Gleaming Girdle. That's the best place to get it is Timeless Isle Heroic, but I do believe you could also get it from Siege of Orgrimmar. Ordos drops it at a fair rate. Parrot Feather Cloak, Freehold, Sky Captain Crag, 11% on the drop rate for the cloak, which you'll see in about 30 seconds as we do the spin. But first, here's a Blood Elf dude showing off linen boots, which are vanilla level tailoring. Check your local tailor, check your local auction house for those kind of brown boots. There's the spin that I foreshadowed. Moving on to the hand wraps of the Turnian Glory. Siege of Orgrimmar Heroic, General Nazgrim, 27% on the drop rate for the gloves. And we have a Lady Human showing the headpiece. Night Vale Cowl, Val Shirak, it's a quest reward and Tangled Dreams. I like those circular kind of headgear from Legion, all those. Basically, there's a few shades of silver and then the bronze that you see there. And the weapon, Phoenix Fire Staff, 5% drop from Maceroy Flame Fists. Moving on to a bit of a shadow or even disc look. Shoulders, Prideful Gladiator Satin. Mantle, of course, if you hoard, it'll be Grievous. The Mob PvP vendor, 3 marks of honor to get those shoulders. I happen to love those shoulders, by the way. One of my favorite priest tier shoulders. Gilded Seraph's Robe, the Burning Throne Heroic Essence of ENR. We got about a fair drop rate to get the robe. There's a lot of other purple and reddish robes that you could go with as well. The belt, Grievous Gladiator's Court of Meditation, Mob PvP vendor, 1 mark of honor to pick that up. Of course, if you hoard, it'll be Prideful. I don't know if that sounds right. Anyway, moving on. You could always check it when you go get them at the PvP vendor. Something seems wrong about that. Anyway, Parrot Feather Cloak, once again, making an appearance. Freehold, Sky Captain Crag, 11% on the drop rate. Moving on to the feet, Prideful Gladiator's Treads of Meditation, Mob PvP vendor, 2 marks of honor to pick up those kind of purplish boots. Moving on to the hands, which are the Adept's Gloves, Northern Barrens, Elder Mystic Razor Snout. What a name, huh? Yep, that's right. They'll drop it, or you can buy it on the auction house. Now we have a human dude showing the head, Dark Conjurer's Collar, which is at a Sunwell Plateau. Killed Jaden, 15% on the drop rate for that head brace kind of piece. And the weapon, Warmongering Combatant's Battle Staff, WoD PvP vendor, 5 marks of honor. If you're hoard, it'll be different. The shoulders are a piece from WoD, from your PvP vendor, Primal Gladiator's Mantle of Cruelty. And yes, they look, I like that orange-gray look on that. I love those shoulders, actually. Moving on to the chest piece, Vestments of the Piercing Light, straight out of Ulduar. General Vezix drops it at about a 5% drop rate. Moving on, we have a Worgen dude showing the belt, which is the Bloody Apparition Strap. Tanan Jungle Dorg the Bloody drops that belt at about a 38% drop rate, so that's a pretty decent rate. Moving on to the feet, which you really can't see here on a Worgen, Shadow Weave Boots, BC level tailoring. Check your local tailor, check your local auction house for those boots. Next up, we have a Lady Human showing the Hands of Consequences. Zul'Farrak, Kill Chief Akor's Scan Scout. Say that 15 times really fast. Next up, the back, which is Gilded Thorian Cloak, Karazhan BC, Terrestrial Hoof, 17% on the drop rate. I know that backwards, that one. I keep using that same cloak. Now we have a Tauren dude with the head, Life Spark Visage. Ulduar is the place. Flame Leviathan is the boss, and about a 6% drop rate for that headpiece. And the final piece is the weapon, Crucible of Storms, Zezek, the speaker guy. Yeah, Crucible of Storms. Going with Holy, or I think Disc for this look, Amiss of the Reef Witch, which is straight out of the Eternal Palace Heroic. Silavaz the Zealous is the boss at about a 5% drop rate for the shoulders. Moving on to the chest, which is the Ghostweave Vest, which you really can't see behind a tabard, but that's intentional because the tabard's part of the set. Vanilla level tailoring, check your local tailor, check your local auction house for the Ghostweave Vest. The belt is straight out of the Eternal Palace Heroic or Gozio. Wow. The English language is confounding me today, but I don't know if that's exactly English. Moving on, the legs, Ghostweave Pants, vanilla level tailoring, check your local tailor, check your local auction house. Here's the thing. I'm sorry, I don't speak WoW. I usually, when it comes to the English language, I pronounce real words well, but when it comes to places in WoW or some of these names in WoW, yeah, I get it wrong. And I'm not supposed to get it right if I've never heard the word in my life. Firecaller's hand wraps, the Battle of Dazerala. That's another one that confounds me. Cloak of Ill Tidings, the Eternal Palace Mythic. Zakwal is the boss, and about a 12% drop rate. Moving on to the Golden Lotus Tabard, which is the Veil of Eternal Blossoms, is the place. Golden Lotus Quartermaster is the dude. Rep and gold to pick that up. Incubator's Bell Cap. Yeah, that's what that looks like. Mythic, Eternal Palace, same boss name that confounds me. And the weapon is Icecrown, Stormwind Quartermaster, 25 Champion Seals. 100% thinking Shadow for this look. Shoulders of Ruinous Senility, which is kind of like I feel when I see some of these crazy names I can't pronounce. Professor Putricide, 17% on the drop rate. From, of course, Icecrown Citadel. Regal Robe, Eastern Plaguelands Quirix is the rare that you can pick it up from if you want to farm it or buy it on the auction house. Probably the best way to go. Moving on, we have the Court of Surging Hysteria. Of course, that's what it's called. The Burning Throne. Varamathras is the boss and a 5% drop rate. Sticking with the Worgen dude, we're going to move on to what I would say is the back, which once again is the Gilded Thorian Cloak, because it's the only like neutral gray, flat out gray cape in the game, unfortunately. The next piece will be the feet, Conjurer's Shoes, Dustwallow Marsh, Huge Claw, 6% shot if you want to farm it, or you could buy it on the auction house. The choice is obviously yours. I would be pragmatic and just buy it. That's the way I feel, but what do I know? Firecaller's Hand Wraps, straight out of Battle of Dazeralahar, which I probably said wrong. Heroic version, keep that in mind. The headpiece, Wicked Witch's Hat. Karazhan BC, the Crone, drops it at about a 22% drop rate. Next up, we're going to move on and show you what I think really pulls things in nicely here. Bite of the Bleeding Hollow, Hellfire Citadel, Killrock Deadeye, 10% on the drop rate for the staff. I think this looks better on females, but I wanted to prove my point by showing it on a human. It just doesn't look right. Pious Mantle, Hellfire Citadel, Zul Hara, a horrible word that I can't pronounce. A Mooncloth Robe, this is pretty easy to get, pretty easy to say as well. Vanilla level tailoring, check your local tailor, check your local auction house for the pale blue, gray, and white robe. Now we're talking. Lady Nightborn showing Forgotten Conservatory Stash. Macquarie, various caches will drop it. Kind of a low rate, but I think it's worth kind of grinding it out. Macquarie, hope you like that place. The belt, Cloak of Hideous Unity. Hellfire Citadel. Fell Lord Zakun, 18% on the drop rate. What would exactly be the definition of hideous unity? Can you give me a situation that would be a hideous unity? What is it, dogs and cats playing together? I don't know. Arcane Boots, BC level tailoring, check a local tailor, check your local auction house. So far, a lot of these pieces, other than the belt, are pretty easy to get. Satin Gloves of Injustice, Tyrant Valhari, 15% on the drop rate. Decent drop rate there. Moving on, we have a Lady Draenei showing the head, Pious Cowl, Hellfire Citadel. Cormrock is the boss, 5% on the drop rate. Thank you for the easy name, Cormrock. Now we're going to move on to the final piece, which of course is the staff. Is straight out of Spires of Iraq, 38% drop rate, the Soul Twister Toric. What a twisted dude to give you that staff. My name is Luxeley. Want to say thank you for tuning in and leave you with a final thought that I often do. Whatever it is by you, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night, make it epic.